to civilize or modernize them. Right? But nowadays, like how many of you, just out of curiosity, show of hands, how many of you would move to a country where there wasn't electricity or Wi-Fi? You would go there. How come?
I don't know. I just like I could be out in nature more. I really like being outdoors.
Okay. Do you think? Okay, so you would like it so you can be more in nature and outdoors. Okay. Someone else raised their hand. So no electricity, no Wi-Fi. You'd go there. How come? Fun. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So the majority of us would like to stay where there's electricity. For those of you who said no, how about clean running water? Would you go somewhere where there wasn't clean running water? You would try it? Both of you, okay. Now you're just settled in on your decision. Right? Most of us, though, would much prefer to stay where we have the comfort of electricity. Anytime you turn on the lights, you have, I don't know, a microwave, whatever you use with electricity. Clean running water, all of these amenities, we call them, right? It's very useful. So for many people around the world, like they don't necessarily want to live where you're potentially paying for infrastructure that you don't even get to use. So my country, Pakistan, I have relatives, they tell my family that, well, we paid the government or the company, the electrical company, for 24 hours of electricity, but the electricity was only running for 1 or 2 hours. And so you're paying all these fees for a service that's not even happening. And so for many people in these countries, they really do live in the dark. They can't heat their homes or cool their homes, right? Whether that's heating or air conditioner. They don't necessarily have access to the internet like we do, and so they're very limited in their access to information. It's very challenging. So, we look back at history at this time period and we think that it was racist and horrible, but nowadays it would almost be the opposite. Like imagine you met someone who thought, oh, those people in poor countries, they should stay poor. They shouldn't have electricity or clean running water. You'd think that that person is horrible. Like, what do you mean they shouldn't have that? Right? So cultural imperialism is, can have different views on that. Some people might think it's racist, some people might think that it's actually beneficial. Religious motivations as well. So I think people make a big deal about the fact that Christians came across the sea and started converting indigenous people, but quite frankly, all of North Africa, a lot of people in North Africa speak Arabic, and they're Muslim. That's no different, but it's not necessarily criticized the same way, right, or viewed the same way, right? And so that is something to take note of. But there's a handful of religions in the world, but Islam and Christianity in particular, they are religions that emphasize missionary work, right? You go out, you convert people, you bring them into your faith. Judaism is not the same, right? In Judaism, Jewish people, they're not trying to go out and convert people and make them Jews. Right? They're much more reserved in that regard. I don't think Hinduism goes out to convert people either, although it's a very large religious group. Okay, but particularly in Africa, South America, in North America, there's this opportunity to convert and bring people into the faith. They might have been viewed as people in need of conversion, to be saved, particularly. And that might relate to why the Christian and Islamic view is different, or the perception of these two religions is different, is because, like as a Muslim, I can say, we don't necessarily go around preaching the saved philosophy, right? That if you accept Islam, you are saved. But I can tell you for sure, as in Islam, we definitely believe, you're rightly guided if you follow Islam, as opposed to a different religion, right? But again, that word, a lot of people might not like that word, that you're saved if you join this religion. And if you don't, well, then you're lost. Okay, so we're looking at a couple different types of technology down below: medicine, weaponry, and transportation. You know, if you have more advanced medicine, weaponry, and transportation, it's very easy to just go out and conquer any other group of people. Right? Anyone seen the movie The Last Samurai? No? One? Just one person? Come on, kids. If you kids have Netflix, go watch that movie. It's classic. Okay. It's an absolute classic. Okay. So there's a. Well, I won't tell you the scene because you should go and watch the movie because it's great. But that movie shows you the impact of advanced technology in colonization and imperialism, right? How easy it is to, you know, just take over another group of people if you have better weapons than they do, right? And very simply put, like if you and I get into a fight and you have like a stick and I have, I don't know, a gun, like what do you think is gonna happen? How do you think that's gonna go? Right? Not well. Right? What's that? You think you'd win with your stick?
My stick would break from your heart.
Better yet, what if you had the gun and I had the stick? Then what? Who's winning? Yeah. I would throw my stick. And I would win. Okay. Additionally, anyone seen the movie Elysium? Elysium with what's his face? Matt Damon. Anyone seen this movie? Come on, another great movie. Okay. So I'll tell, like, that's also a really good movie. You should watch that, but I'm gonna tell you more about it. So in this movie, there are some people who are very wealthy. They live off the planet, and they have better technology. They have better medication, medical treatment, right? So one of their technologies is like they have like an exoskeleton suit. It basically connects to your body, and now you're like a super soldier, right? So when Matt Damon's character, who's poor, gets a hold of one of these suits, what do you think he does? Yeah, he goes up to where the rich people are, and he starts, you know, dishing out some punishment. And why does he do it? It's because he was trying to save someone, his friend's daughter. He needed to get medical treatment because the girl was dying, the little girl was dying, right? And so that movie again shows the impact that advanced technology and medication and weapons can have when two groups of people collide, right? Particularly if they collide violently, right? What if you did it at home? We could probably watch the one scene from The Last Samurai. So, having better methods of transportation makes the world a much smaller place, right? So you could get on a plane in Edmonton. I don't think they actually have this flight, but you could get on a plane in Edmonton and fly to London, England, and you could do that in about 9 hours. You could fly from here to Japan in about 12, 13 hours, right? Or from Calgary to Japan, 12, 13 hours, right? It makes the world very small. I think I've already mentioned to your class last year, but I'll remind you. How long do you think it took for the big sailboats that the Europeans sailed in across the ocean? How long do you think it took them to travel from England to North America? Probably not months, right? About probably 3 to 6 weeks. Right? Imagine spending 3 to 6 weeks on a boat. Wouldn't be very fun. Okay? You know, what would you eat in that time period? A lot of people got this thing called scurvy. They got very sick because they were malnourished on these boats. A lot of people got various diseases. Maybe a rat snuck into your boat, and now, like, I don't know, rats cause problems, right? And you kids know about the bubonic plague, the Black Plague. A lot of it was spread through rats and cats, I think, too.
Wasn't there a flea that had the bubonic plague?
I think it was spread to humans through rats and cats, I think. I think we got a couple more slides left, and then we'll take a short break. Yeah, are we almost done? Yeah, we got like 2 slides left, and we'll take a short break. Okay, so how many of you know who Charles Darwin is? Have you heard this name? Maybe you probably started learning about him in Science 10, Bio for sure. But Charles Darwin, you know, his research, he came up with this theory of evolution, of natural and I think more accurately sexual selection in species and how that impacts their development. Okay. And he said something along the lines of the fittest survive, but, or the strongest, I think it was kind of also interpreted as the strongest survive. But what he meant by that wasn't necessarily like strong and those who can conquer. Fitness in Charles Darwin's explanations, what he meant was more so the ability to adapt and survive. Right, so imagine, you know, all of a sudden this would never happen, but it would rattle you if it did. Okay, we're all standing, we're in this room, and this room is flat, the ground, and it's level, it's not moving. Now imagine if it started waving up and down like this, right? And some of you would go tumbling either way. Okay, you'd lose your balance immediately, and you'd go falling, maybe you hit your head,